At this point in time, if you have not seen Sinners, I would highly recommend you do so before it goes out of theaters, because the in-theater experience is truly one of a kind, and I wouldn't not recommend it to anyone. With that being said, hello everyone, welcome to my Sinners review. I went in totally blind. The only thing I knew about the movie, spoiler alert, kind of not really, it's just the basic premise of the movie, that there are vampires and that Michael B. Jordan is in it. Those are my two contributing factors going into this movie. So I went in completely blind, and to say I was surprised was an understatement, because this movie is more than I thought it would be. I think a lot of people went in thinking it was gonna be bad and then were surprised when it was actually good. So with that being said, let's just get on into the review. So to get some basic info out of the way, Sinners was released April 18th, 2025, and it was directed by Ryan Coogler, and some of the key main actors are Hailee Steinfeld, Michael B. Jordan, Omar Benson Miller, and Miles Canton. And for this video, for your guys' enjoyment and to fully get the full benefit of going to see this movie, there will be a spoiler-free part and a spoiler part. So there will be timestamps to make sure you guys get what you need. So for those who are unfamiliar, here is the preface of Sinners. Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their Mississippi hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. I feel like that's a very loose description of the movie, because this movie is jam-packed full of meaning and messaging and all of the stuff. It also has a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes and an 8.2 on IMDb. I just want to start off by saying these actors, the way that they portrayed these characters, it's really cool to see when actors actually like their job and are actually putting themselves into the characters and actually care about what they're presenting out into the world. It's actually really great to see, especially with the behind the scenes videos that I've seen. You won't be disappointed with the acting, is one thing I can pretty confidently say. The performances are A tier, and I feel that's nothing to worry about, because some movies obviously the acting is questionable and it kind of takes you out of it, but the acting in this movie particularly doesn't take you out of it at all. You stay immersed, and I feel that's a pretty awesome thing to be able to achieve in a movie. The direction and visuals of this movie is also A tier. With Ryan directing this film, he also directed the Creed, some of the Creed, I think all the Creed movies actually, and the Black Panther movies as well. So I feel he just knows what is good, and I feel he's actually genuinely passionate about movies, and it's you can tell straight away. The way the shots are portrayed is just it's so beautiful, and you feel something, which I feel movies are you're supposed to feel something when you watch a movie, okay? At least I think, to some extent, right? You could just tell it's really authentic, and I really appreciate that with the different angles and the different views, especially because Michael B. Jordan, if you're unaware, plays twins. So it's kind of he also apparently played a part in directing his shots as well. So that also is just really interesting and really cool to think about through the whole movie, how every shot was so thoughtful and everything was thought out and flushed. With I Feel being a flushed out movie, the tone and the pacing of the movie I feel was really good. I heard some people say that it was kind of slow, but I think honestly their attention span is just not that vast. I feel the pacing did what it was meant to do. It was supposed to drive you through a story, get your key info, make sure you know that info to put the pieces together later on in the movie. To each their own, but for this movie I feel you really need to lock in, especially if you're not aware. This movie is set in Jim Crow era. It's pretty heavy. If you're kind of sensitive to that topic of slavery, then maybe not. Maybe be aware if you're going in to see this movie. But the tone did what it needed to do. I feel that's just the thing. It did what it needed to do without being too much and without being too little. It did just the right amount. You'll just leave thinking wow, I want to go watch it again, because that's how I felt. When I was in the movie theater with my mother, we were wow, that was a movie. I want to see that again. And maybe I will. Maybe I will go see it for a second time, actually. So given that it was horror adventure, there are vampires. There are vampires in this movie, and there is adventure, I would say. And it did meet my very low expectations, because I didn't have any. For horror, it's doing exceptionally well, especially in the film industry space. So I feel that's like a what is it called? I would say that's a green check mark. I feel if you like the horror vampire section of movies, I feel you'd really enjoy this movie. If you like Michael B. Jordan, if you like Hailee Steinfeld, I feel that's all what? I feel that's warranted if you like those actors, or you'll go see the movie. If you want a good story, good pacing, good characters, character growth, or character change. I feel like that's like, and there's music in this movie too. I forgot to mention music. The music in this movie is phenomenal. It really sets the tone. Music is like a key factor in this movie. I really hope this movie wins at least some awards in award season, because it just deserves all its flowers. So I usually rate all my movies, no matter what. If I'm watching it at home, if I go to the movies, if like, you know, watch it at school, I will rate a movie. And I rate my movies out of 10. And this movie got a 9 from me, which, not like to put myself on a pedestal of rating movies, but to me that's pretty high on my enjoyment scale. This movie, 9 out of 10. I like, might as well give it a 10 out of 10 because that's how good it was. If you wanted another sign to watch this movie, do it now. If you had like a thought of not seeing it, like just do it. Just do it. What's the harm in going into a theater and experiencing this movie? Yeah, that is the spoiler-free part of this video. So if you want spoilers, then keep on watching, or if you just want to hear my thoughts on specific things that happen in the movie, because there's a lot of them and everything is just so amazing. It's just amazing. All I have is praise for this movie, basically. So obviously the main plot is the Stack twins, right? Wait, what's their, is it Storm and Stack? Hold on. It's the Smoke and Stack twins. And they obviously go into like the town to come back and, you know, build up this like business, if you will. I like seen a couple of like TikToks where they go like and look at the Easter eggs, and basically like they like rob banks and like they like, you know, use that money and then like to like build up other things, and then they like cause a feud between the Italian and the Russian mafia, and then that's like a little backstory, like Easter egg, if you like look really closely in the movie. But also the actor Miles Canton, who played the preacher's son, I think. Sorry, forgive me for my names because my memory is like kind of not that great, and I may have mild HD, so that doesn't help. But Miles, I feel like his role in the movie is pivotal. Like, we wouldn't kind of get to where we are without Miles and obviously Michael B. Jordan. The whole plot of going to town, starting up a business, and then gathering up the community to make something that's great, exploring music, exploring the blues. The blues is a huge part of this movie, and you can like clearly tell that this movie was made with love. A lot of thought and love was put into it. These characters are also like chef's kiss. Like they're just like really interesting. So Hailee Steinfeld's character Mary is really interesting to me. I feel like she's like a character that you don't know a lot about until you get more details. Like, I swear I paid attention to watching this movie, but sometimes like the difference between the twins kind of like messed me up. But she was involved with one of the twins. They're like family closely bonded with, because her mother like basically raised the twins, and then he left for 7 years, and then she was like, I waited for you. And she's also kind of like closely like with them because her mother or her mother's grandfather was like part black or something, so she has black in her. But obviously in this time, it's like even if you were like a little bit black, like you were just like a black person, and not with the black people, you know, it's like, it's just a whole like the whole thing is like, wow. Her character, I feel like she just wants to like fit in and be where she feels like she's meant to be, basically, but also not maybe probably recognizing her privilege to the extent that she probably should, maybe. But one of her lines that really like in the movie, like there was a lot of lines in this movie that could be quoted, but one of the quotes was, I don't want to be white, I just want to be with you. Because obviously one of the twins set her up with a white guy even though she wanted to be with him, so she could be safe, because in that time if you were even spotted with like a colored man, you just like, they would like basically kill her. And then he said if they kill her then he's gonna kill them, and it's just like, they say romance is dead, but that's her character. She tried her best, you know, and then obviously we know what happens to her. So Smoke and Stack, I forget which twin has a relationship with Annie, but Annie is obviously a pivotal character in this movie because she's like the spiritual connecting person that, you know, deals with all supernatural and like that kind of stuff. So when there's vampires, she's kind of the one to like put it together, like to help out the group. And then Grace, obviously the shop owner with her husband, that like, I feel like a lot of people were mad at her for letting them in, right? Oh my god, my camera's gonna die. Hold on, one sec. Okay, I'm back. But Annie, yeah, a lot of people were mad at her for letting the vampires in. I feel like we could understand where she's coming, where she's like, her family is like basically gone and her daughter's back at like the town, and she like wants to make sure she's safe. And in doing that, she's also making sure that the vampires don't go to the town, because what happens when they all stay there and they have to go find shelter from the sun, right? They're going into the town and they're finding people that'll let them in, which is their family. Like, you know what I mean? In the grand scheme of things, if you think about it like that, it is selfish, but like let's have some grace for Grace, if you will. And then we have Cornbread, you know, the great faithful Cornbread that obviously got his character is really, I like the plot device that he has in this movie. It's like, it's really cute. It's really endearing, if you will. And then Perline. And let's not forget Remrick, the good old Irish vampire that fell from wherever he came from. His like philosophy and like his like thinking is like so interesting, and like how he like manages to turn everyone. And the scene where they're in the circle and one of the twins has been turned, and Mary has already gone with the wind, Cornbread's also gone with the wind, the husband is also gone with the wind to Grace, so everyone's just like in their circle doing this like Irish dance, or like just dancing, and with the main villain guy's song, and it's just so groovy, and I was really feeling it in the theater. I was like, yeah. And also the part before where the vampires come and the preacher boy is singing a song, because obviously the main thing is like you can like connect people and bring them together with music, but then also evil follows, and that's the whole thing. So when he comes and he sees like the burning barn, the preacher boy is like singing his heart out with the guitar, and all like the different cultures come in from different like time periods, and just dancing together in the same room with like just like the montage, the one shot like directing is just like, yes. I feel like there's only so much I can say about characters, but themes, there's just so many. There's themes on society, family, like values, and I feel like you could take away a lot of things from this movie. I honestly overall thought this movie was well-rounded. It did what it needed to do, needed to do what it needed to did, and is a great original movie. I think this movie is really unique. Now, if you watch this movie, please tell me what you guys thought, because I'm so interested to see how you guys took this movie, how it affected you, what you thought could be different, would you like, all the things. I'm super excited to actually watch reactions to this, because I'm just so curious as to see how people will interpret this movie, because it just has so many layers, like an onion, you know. Shrek would be proud of this movie with how many layers it has. He would eat that up. He would eat this movie up, I swear. The ogre in him. However, this is the end of the video. I will definitely be doing more movie reviews, because I feel like this is a little fun little piece that I could give to you guys of my love for film. So if you're interested in any of my content, please go check out my channel. I'm figuring things out, so please bear with me. But if you're planning on staying around, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button and hitting a like on this video, because it really helps the algorithm. If anything you take from this video, it's be kind to yourself, drink water, and I'll see you soon. Bye. 아침하나 자식